I'm going to go ahead and get started. So each of these meetings I'm going to start, I just so that you guys have a little bit of an understanding of the format of it, but each of these meetings that we're going to start is basically going to be sacred space for us. Sacred space for us to bring forward information, but also really setting a foundation of what it means to create our life, our every waking moment as a sacred daily ritual. And so this is kind of our platform to really get to experience that as a group. And then as we work together more and more together, that this is going to hopefully be able to become part of your daily life, so that no matter what you're doing, from that first breath you take in the morning when you come out of your dream state, that you can actually have that mind frame of being in that sacred space. We're going to start this meeting with a declaration of intention. I'm going to read one. I'm going to have it available on the members page where you guys can actually pull it up and see what I have written there. And after today, my ask for you is to take these words and a couple of the other examples that I have, and in this week to actually write your own declaration of intention. So if everybody wants to just take a nice deep breath. I declare from the core of my heart my intention to serve my source. I align myself fully and completely to the heart of the one infinite creator. I dedicate this life to being my true heart song across all the cosmos. I surrender my ego now to be in service to the law of one mission of first cause light as a pillar of light. In the light of truth, I declare and intend, I am that I am. I am a soul sovereign being. And so it is. Now, I've already set the intention for a sacred space for the group, but I'm going to go ahead and do a alchemical container for our group, a sacred circle for our group. In this very I am present moment and now, we declare our intention of creating an alchemical container holding sacred space in unity and love. We call upon all of our ancestors, past, present, and future, holding compassionate, neutral perspective to be present now. We call upon our avatar God self, the guardians, aurora families, and the crystal star matrix. We call to our soul family, our galactic family, and our entire soul matrix of our I am presence. We ask for gatekeeping now to hold space for a spiritual court of equity as we align to the law of one mission to work together for the highest capacity of exchange of God's infinite light, love, and power in divine right order and harmony. We unify with you now as we reclaim our sovereignty and freedom from all systems of domination and control, and the full alignment of the double diamond heart template to resurrect all codes of living light again. With our feet anchored into Earth Mother, we acknowledge the physicality of this realm. We honor the four directions, the elementals, the heart of Earth Mother, and the true sacred geometry of the Prime Creator. With a loving heart, as the sacred circle is opened, anchor, lock, and seal this for Vortex now. Thank you. Take a deep breath in. So I just want to say welcome to everybody. This is our first Zoom meeting, and I know that it's always easier to have groups like this in person, but we are definitely transcending times into a space of really experiencing what it is to be entangled with each other, entangled with our energy fields, regardless of where we are. And that in this very moment that we could actually take just a brief moment to realize that all of us here together in this sacred space are now connected. No matter if we ever spend time together again, that there is actually a sacred entanglement of our hearts in this very moment right now. And just to kind of even start to understand how amazing that is, but also how little we've been aware of how powerful our energy is, because that's just this group right here. And if we actually think of every person that we've ever connected with, every group we've ever spent time with, every way we've ever shared energy with another person, we realize that the entanglement field is so beyond what our conscious mind can even really perceive that we've pretty much touched most people on the planet. So today I really wanted to start with some foundational things for our group, because I know we're going to be getting into some really advanced teachings as far as just who we are as infinite beings, and also what our physical vehicle is capable of and our spiritual mechanics. But in order to do that, it really does require that we cover some of the basics. So I wanted to just cover a couple things. First of all is just as far as for this group, and I know that each of your hearts already holds this space, but just kind of the etiquette and the compassion of this group, that this is really an open space that for all of us to just keep in mind and to keep within our forefront of our thoughts, to have that compassionate, neutral witness for all things coming up within anything that comes up in these meetings together, whether we're in person or whether we're online, because some of the things that are going to come up may trigger us, and all of us together can make that dedication to each other to be there as a support system, so that whomever may be getting triggered, or maybe we're all getting triggered, but that in that space that we all are realizing that that is just something that is being awakened in us to be noticed, so that we can help it and heal it and let it go. And so in that, I'm going to invite each and every one of you to have a journal. And I'd actually really encourage you guys to get a journal that really lights you up and makes you happy and feels good to hang, like to touch and to hold on to. So this is actually my old journal, and it's got a little bit of everything in there, but I know that everything in here feels really good to me because of the processes that I've gone through with it. And so one of the first things I would say is, when you get your journal, allow yourself to maybe put within the first few pages your declaration of intention. So the declaration of intention is, what is your purpose on this planet? What is it that you're declaring that you're choosing to be as a God sovereign being on this planet? And the declaration of intention really has a lot to do with our dedication to really allowing ourselves to dedicate our ego, our ego, which is our expression in this I am presence, our identity, the names that we are, whether it's Heather or Becca or Renee or Rihanna or Shay, you know, whomever we are, this is our identity in this current I am now. And in that, we come with the programming of an ego. And we'll go through a lot of the programming of an ego, but first of all, we don't want to bastardize it. It's a program that just generally gets run out of control. And in that, we get to reclaim it and actually dedicate it to the higher service and the higher purpose of what our soul is here to do and be, and in that mission of reclaiming this world back into Christ's light. Now I want to touch on some of the terms that I'm going to be using, because I will use words like God, I will use words like Christ, and I want to differentiate what I am implying with it, and then I want you to allow yourself to see, first of all, does it trigger you in any way, shape, or form to hear those words? Because there is a lot of religious programming on the planet, and so we're actually going to go through a lot of deprogramming of all of that. But when I bring up Christ, Christos, Christalla, what I am referring to is the original Trinity matrix of light from our founder flame fathers, of the original sound, tone, and light that is the matrix that has created this free will universe. And in that, if you imagine the sound tone of source light has gone out and it holds this crystal, Crystalla codes within it. It holds within it the fabrics of our original blueprint. And as those sound tones went out, they have had experiences through all the beings who have incarnated in whatever planets, places, lifetimes, or parallel realities. And as those morphogenic fields go out, what has happened is there have been negative forces who have come to basically do reversal energy and reversal light on it. So probably one of the most powerful energies on the planet and in all the universe is returning back to our 12th dimensional Crystalla or Christ codes, our 12D 20, our DNA structure that holds these Christic codes. It's our natural state of being. And if we actually hold those codes, literally all of the reversal light, all of the negative alien agenda, all of the parasitic beings cannot withstand that, and either they leave or they completely get dissipated as God would have it be. There are multiple ways in which that happens. But if you think about it, if you were trying to keep people from being the totality and the power of who they were, wouldn't you want to distort some of the key codes of what would actually give them the power back? So in that, I want to just offer you, first of all, that when I'm using these terms of God, I am referring to our prime source, the prime sound tones and frequencies of our creation, our light emanation. And I'm also referring to, when I refer to Christ consciousness, Crystalla, Christos, any of that, what I'm referring to is an actual Trinity sound code of which we all originated from, that is back into the source light matrix. So with that, we're holding space. We're holding space for each other. If there's any triggers, please, 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 please write it down, because I'm going to do the opening for the group, and then I'm going to talk a little bit, and then what I really want to do is be able to do some actual clearings with people so that we can actually have some real-time kind of examples of going through some of these clearings with each other. So we're all going to get the opportunity to bring our crap to the table, literally, in order to begin to clear it and let it go. So please write your triggers down. The next thing I'm going to ask is that this is a brand new thing. So with that, there can be what we might consider expectations. And I want you just to kind of notice right now what expectations you might have had for us getting together right now. And just notice within your mind any thoughts or feelings that are coming up. Notice within your mind if it's like, oh wow, this is exciting, or oh wow, I wonder what we're going to be doing, or oh my gosh, this seems like a waste of my time, or I can't believe I did this. It doesn't matter what it is. All of that is information for us to actually get to know ourselves better. So whatever thoughts, feelings, or expectations that one may have, Those are also something I want you to just go ahead and jot down in your journal to find out about. So with that, I want to go into our topic of mindfulness, and I want to go into our topic of discernment. So, discernment. We honestly, in this experience so far, have probably not truly had an opportunity to be ourselves. We actually, from the moment we were born, have been completely coated with layer after layer after layer of labels. So from the moment we're born, you were first given the label of either a man or a woman. You were first of all, from an infancy, brought into this reality and immediately given the label that you're a human, which has its own parameters around it. And then after that comes the label of female or male. And I want you just to think about just those two labels right there. If you're born a female, how many labels come just from that? What, depending on where you're born on the planet or what your family structure is, what's expected of a woman? A woman's meant to what? Take care of the children, bear children, you know, are they allowed to have as much money for the same job as a man? In some countries, women aren't even allowed to show their face. They're considered to be nothing more than a commodity. So think about that very first label right there. Women are emotional. Oh, they make up things. Oh, they're needy. They're always constantly, you know, confused about how finances are. There's even limitations on what a woman can be smart about and what a woman may have no idea about. And all of these are labels. All of these are parameters put on somebody. Men, the same thing. Men aren't allowed to show emotions. Men have to be strong, buck it up, you know. It's like men are expected to donate their life to the service of their country. Men are used for sacrifice, blood sacrifice in war. A man's meant to provide, you know, like they need to bring home a paycheck or they're not worth anything, you know. It's like they can't be sensitive or cry in front of others. All of that immediately starts to squelch our core of who we are, our seed of who we are. So I want you just to imagine for a moment that from Prime Creator, from Prime Source, that you had an initial spark. You were initial spark that went out, and that initial spark is your permanent seed atom. And that initial spark follows you no matter what lifetime, what planet, and what incarnation, and what reality that you're in. That permanent, that seed atom is anchored and locked into your heart center, okay? We're going to talk about this a lot because this is actually what we're going to be tapping into and becoming. The answer has always been inside of us. We've just not known how to uncover it. So I want you just to imagine that you, as your permanent seed atom, you come into this reality and you're already starting to get covered with all of these labels. Now you got labels as to what kind of family you were born into, what country were you born into, what religion is your family, are you poor, are you middle class, are you rich, are you the smart kid, are you the not smart kid, do you fit in, or are you the nerd? You know, you get all of these. Are you the firstborn, are you the middleborn, are you the child of the family? Label after label after label after label is placed on top of us, and that gets compounded by financial systems, religious systems, every system of domination and control that you can think of, every system that has to do with defining what you can or cannot do. Now, imagine the planet has had this very exact same covering of labels placed on it too. I put on the blog that I put out for everybody, I put on there that there was a picture of Mother Earth. And if you imagine Mother Earth is just this beautiful blue glowing ball in the galaxy, And in her prime state, in her raw state, she was land, she was plants, she was animals, she was trees. She was in one of humanity's better times, she was in the Sumerian times, she was living in harmony with humanoid beings who lived in harmony with her. And I bring that, and I'm going to bring that through into some of our ancestors, say the Native Americans and the ancestral tribes around the world, be it the Aboriginals or whatever continent you want to think of. We have our ancestors that have been holding this ancient wisdom. And if you think about that, they all lived within a mind frame that the earth was the earth, and you lived in harmony with the earth, and you breathed with the earth, and you were part of the earth, and you actually were the earth. Think about it. Your skin, your physical skin suit, this vehicle that we have an opportunity to live in right now, would not exist without planet Earth. Your entire molecules are comprised of actual molecules of the planet. So you are an animated vehicle of planet Earth. And so if you thought about it, in that raw state, you lived in harmony with. If you were on land and you wanted to lay down, if you wanted to be, if you wanted to camp there, if you wanted to hunt there, you just did. You know, in the Lemurian times, it was such an advanced society, but it was so heart-based that they created civilizations and cities that were in harmony and breathing with the earth, but nobody owned the earth, right? Nobody put those markers down and said, well, this is my land, I have a deed for it. And so I want to ask you, have you ever asked the question, what person or what part of humanity or what global part of our history did somebody decide to put a flag down and say, this is mine? Right? So somebody initially had to come into this reality and put a flag down and put an idea of ownership, which is another arm or aspect of domination and control. And not only that, but whoever did that, the people around actually had to agree to it. So if you live in a area, and I'm sure most of you are at least aware of what a homeowners association is, which means that you live within a neighborhood, you know, like most neighborhoods, but you guys have your own rules, right? And within a homeowners association, if you actually start to strip all those rules away and move all the houses, what's underneath? Nothing more than Mother Earth. The only reason that it is what it is because there's been layers and layers of rules and contracts and agreements that everybody agreed to. And because they were agreed to, people can be held accountable for them. We are exactly the same way. Our body, our spirit is exactly the same way. We have given away our land, our real estate to a lot of different systems of domination and control, and none of us were ever aware of it because it started from the day we were born. And what we are here to do now is start to, first of all, begin to acknowledge what all of those layers are, so that we can start to audit all of those contracts that we've ever written and decide whether or not they work for us now. Because here's the amazing thing, of all the things that we're going to bring up, whether it happened now or whether it happened to our ancestors 7 generations ago, it doesn't matter. Everything is changeable in the very present moment and now. Everything is completely something we can choose right here, right now to make different. Is it easy? Yes and no. It takes discernment. Discernment to really look at everything that's happening in our reality and start to ask questions. Is this really mine? Do I really agree to this? What is the purpose of some of these things that are happening in our reality? And let me tell you that right now in society, we have a lot of amazing things to start asking questions about, because if you've been looking at our planet as a whole, there is a lot of topsy-turvy things going on right now, and a lot of things that make absolutely no sense. So it's the best time ever for us in our awakening process to start asking those questions. I want to bring to you one of the foundational pillars that we're going to be working with, and it's going to be the universal laws. We're going to be working with some of the principles of the universe, the founding laws of the universe. And the first one I really want to start with, because this can actually transform every aspect of your thinking. This is one of the most powerful tools for you to begin to see the big and the small of everything that's happening, and that is the law of correspondence. So understand that when we learn the laws of the universe, because I'm going to tell you right now, all of the nefarious beings, are, whether you want to call them the negative alien agenda, the fallen angelics, the reptilians, the good side and the bad side, it doesn't really matter what you want to call them, but there are beings on this planet who love to use power, domination, and control to keep certain, like the mass majority of our population, in a subservient enslavement mentality. And the reason why they succeed at what they do is because they actually know the laws of the universe. Whether you are working for service to self or service to others, universal laws are universal laws. But universal laws really employ mentalism, that all is mind, that all first is thought and mind. So we will get back to the all is mind, which is actually one of the foundational ones, but I want to work with the law of correspondence as we start. The law of correspondence means that everything that is happening on a greater scale and a smaller scale. So it's the as above, so below, as within, so without. So if you wanted to actually understand the ebb and flow and the pulse of the entire universe, you could actually learn that by studying a cell or your human body. As above, so below. Everything is a fractal expanding out from itself, which means that if you want to understand something that is inconceivable, because you'll never truly in this physical form see the entire body of the cosmos, but you could actually understand it metaphorically through some of the smaller systems that are happening. And so as we do that, we can start to take some of these things, because there is an infinite amount of times that you're going to actually find yourself going, why would they do that? Why would anybody ever want to do that? Like, how could that happen? And in that, we can actually just start to see how we're participating in all of it. So I'd like everybody just to, for a moment, to close their eyes and take a nice deep breath in. That in this very moment, that I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness inward. What if you were a replica of the entire universe? And if you were a replica of the entire universe, how aware are you of everything that's happening within you? I'd like for you just to take note for a moment that if you operated as a true creator, how aware are you of what is happening in your left foot? How aware are you of the planetary system of your liver? or the planetary system of your heart? How is the orbit of the communication between all your planetary organs? Is the liver and the pancreas in sync? Is the heart and the lungs in sync? How is the breath of God moving through you? When you take a deep breath of the cosmos through your mouth or your nose, is it shallow, high in your chest, or are you actually truly bringing all of the breath of creation all the way through? Are you imagining the cosmic winds moving through all of the limbs, through your blood system, oxygenating through your lungs and through your heart and pumping back out again? How aware are you of the Akashic records within the crystalline marrow of your bones? And those Akashic records of your DNA and your ancestors that are reciprocating themselves over and over and over. How many programs are running in your system that have been running for centuries, for generations, or for multiple soul incarnations? In this very moment, I invite you just to bring your awareness into your heart. Imagine, sense, and feel your permanent seed atom. I want you just to imagine, use your imagination and imagine that there is a spark, a crystal. And that you know in your heart of hearts that if you begin to place more awareness in this spark of a crystal in your heart, this seed, that it truly is a lotus blossom with crystalline petals waiting to open infinitely from inside of you. The only thing that's required is for you to clear out all the debris of all of the old so that you can open up the channels so that the living light waters can begin to flow through you and create an organism and a system that supports the crystalline Christos light within you. And as you imagine that, just imagine saying within your mind your declaration of intention to serve your source. And that in many ways, your permanent seed atom is your gateway. It is your source. To serve it fully, completely, and totally. That you dedicate your life to surrendering your ego into anchoring this light on the planet. That you are surrendering yourself to be a vessel of light for all humanity. That you are willing to be a dedicated, mindful soul, allowing yourself to be so aware of every thought, feeling, emotion, and action that you contribute to this world. To be aware that it's coming from your heart. Now, I would like for you to bring your awareness to your pineal gland, your third eye. It's in the middle of your head. It's a very sacred space. It is your third eye. And I'm going to walk you through just gently a very powerful shielding practice for anchoring yourself into your 12th dimensional light. I want you to imagine breathing in, and I want you to imagine bringing all of your awareness into your third eye. That from your permanent seed atom, that all you have to do is bring your awareness to your third eye, and you actually see it like a bright, shining light. It is like an absolute eye to see multidimensionally. And it too emanates almost like a disco ball of light, a crystalline light. And it is actually filled with crystals. And in it, you can imagine that it is spinning at such a velocity that it has its own toroidal field, and it has a Merkaba within it, creating this toroidal field, a perpetual, eternal living light. And as you imagine it, I want you just to imagine it as platinum silver. And on your next breath, I want you to take a deep breath in, and on your next breath, I want you to breathe in into that Merkaba of light. And on your exhale, I want you to imagine shooting it all the way down your central column, all the way down your spinal cord, all the way out your tailbone. And I want you to imagine it going straight down through the center of the earth and connecting with the heart crystal of the earth, the Merkaba field of the earth. Go ahead and take a deep, deep, deep breath in. And as you exhale, I just want you to shoot it all the way down. And you may sense and feel it going through layers, or you just may immediately sense as though it's connected there, and you know that it went through an entire channel all the way through the earth. And that Merkaba, that toroidal field of eternal living light of your pineal gland, is now in harmony and spinning in unison with the heart crystal of planet Earth, of our Earth Mother. And I want you just to feel them in unison, that she's actually holding the platinum 12th dimensional ray of light. And just sense and feel that beautiful energy, that Christos energy. It's the first dimensional field outside of physical manifest form. It's formless. It's compassion. It's unconditional love. It's neutrality. It's the witness. It is the love that blankets all of our cosmos. And I want you on the next breath in, you're going to take an inhale in, and as you inhale in, it's going to be as if your Merkaba star has hooked and connected with the Merkaba star of the earth, and it's going to bring up like a geyser of platinum silver light all the way up underneath your feet, a column of light. It's literally like as if a geyser is just exploding from the heart of the earth. It's coming all the way through the bottom of the earth, up underneath you, and it's creating a platform like a disc, like a hovering disc, about 12 inches, about a foot beneath your feet. It's actually as if you have your own sacred platform that goes with you. It's your own hoverboard of silver platinum light that goes with you wherever you go, whatever you do. It is underneath you. It is your physical support in this realm. And that this is the new anchor, that you're anchoring into the 12th dimensional energy of the earth right now. We are moving out of grounding to the physicality of the earth, because that is transforming, and we are actually moving ourselves through being multidimensional beings capable of anchoring within our Christos light. Now, just sensing and feeling, you in your imagination can see that pillar going from that disc underneath you. You know it's connected to the core of the earth. And on the next breath, I want you to imagine that you're bringing that Merkaba star back up your spinal column, up your chakra column, back up into your pineal gland. But as it does that, it's bringing this geyser and shower of light up around you like a cylinder of light. It's as if you're in your own container of silver light, and it goes all the way up. And I want you to imagine as it hooks into your pineal gland, it's actually going to go up into your 8th chakra up above your head. It's going about 6 inches to 8 inches above your head, and it's creating a lid, and it's creating an actual sealed container. It's as if you could go into the bottom of the ocean and have your own protected atmosphere. This is your cylinder of light, fully and completely anchored within the 12th dimensional silver platinum light of the Trinity field of the Christos, morphogenic field. As you breathe this in and out, you could sit with this meditation just like this and breathe that light in and out of your body. Anything and everything that is reversal light, entities, implants, anything that has attached to you from any other reality or any other universe, anything that is running dead light energy. The more and more you breathe this through, it actually flushes it out of your physical form and all of your morphogenic fields around you. You can breathe it through your bloodstream. You can breathe it through your lymph system. You can breathe it through your muscles and your ligaments and your tendons. And something very special is to breathe it through the marrow of your bone. The marrow of your bone is the only place that is so sacred that it's not touched by any other system in your body, and it is where your blood is recreated. It is where your blood is born. Your Christos divine blood is born. And you can send all of your intention to the brand new blood being made in your body, so that when it leaves your bone marrow from this crystalline source, that as it pumps through your heart, that you move it through your permanent seed atom, encoded with your original blueprint, the truth of who you are before all the labels were ever put on you. And you breathe it through your permanent seed atom, and so that every heartbeat that goes out, that blood infused with the breath you take is going to move it to every system in your body and completely rewrite every cellular structure inside of you. Take a deep breath in. Now, imagining that platinum Merkaba of light within your pineal gland. On the next breath, I want you to imagine breathing it out, the crown, the top of your head, the crown, and through your 8th chakra above you. And I want you to imagine that it's going through a geyser and pillar of light to the core Merkaba in the heart of the universe. And I want you just to imagine it connecting with the heart of Prime Creator, the heart of Source, the prime first sound wave and light, the original sound tone of all. And see, sense, feel, imagine your Merkaba intermingling with your true source, the light of all that is. Feel that. It is so expansive, infinite, a void. Within this void, nothing is, yet everything is. Within an instant, you could uncreate everything and manifest anything you choose. All is mind. On your next breath, as you inhale and exhale, you are going to imagine that pure stream, anchor, lock, and seal as you breathe it down into your crown, into your pineal gland, and I want you to come back into your permanent seed atom in your heart. And in your permanent seed atom in your heart, I want you to imagine, sense, and feel as if each breath that you take, as you inhale, you feel yourself breathing in from the earth crystal. And as you exhale, you breathe out, and that breath goes all the way to the universal heart crystal. And as you breathe in, it breathes in that universal heart crystal back into your heart. And just feel the infinity going, that with each breath you take from your heart crystal, that you can play with breathing in and out from both of those hearts simultaneously. And I want you to imagine, sense, and feel, what if you brought the heart of the earth and the heart of the creation right into your heart? You are quantumly entangled with all that is, just through your thoughts and just through your intentions. All it takes is your intention on the heart of the earth or the heart of the universe for you to be in unison again. And within 3 breaths, you could completely transform every cellular structure in your body. And as you do, imagine that alchemical container around you. It's that platinum shield around you. I want you to remember this. Before you go into any grocery store, before you go into a conversation with anybody, before you have to communicate with somebody that may not be in alignment with their own true heart center, anytime you know you have to be around your computer or any situation that has a potential of pulling you out of your center, take a moment and build your 12th dimensional shield around you. That within 3 days' time, if you did this consciously twice a day for 3 days in a row, that it would take you less than 3 seconds to put your 12th dimensional platinum shield around you. So as you were getting out of your car, you could, in your mind, while you're walking in, take 3 deep breaths as you're walking in somewhere and just shoot that Merkaba field down to the core of the earth, back up, breathe it up through your heart, out the crown, out to the heart of the universe, back down, anchor, lock, and seal in your heart. Feel the cylinder around you with platinum silver light, anchor, lock, and seal. I am my 12D crystal body now. Now I want you just to allow yourself to just come back to the group. And I want you, just as you come back to the group, if you want to just, if you feel inspired, but if there's something that you would describe this platinum shield as, how would you describe it? This is important to remember. This is important to remember the feeling, because it is like riding a bike. The more and more you do it, the more and more it becomes a part of who you are. The more and more you do it, the more this is your natural state of being.